But let's start with some memes. And this, more than a meme, is like a tragedy in two acts in which you can see Meghan is excited of greeting these poor people that made the not so wise decision to attend the US veteran event where the Monte Shit Show duo were going to be. And at the same time, you can see that Harry is living his best life right there in the background, full of joy, full of absolute happiness, knowing that he was with the woman of his life. You know that how much Harry praised Meghan in all those videos and all those on his book as well. Even if he doesn't want to be there, even if happiness for him is just trying to keep up with those public appearances with Meghan. I'm sure that Harry would make a good use of my upcoming merch. You know, you're already aware of this. Much love and bliss, because that's something that he desperately needs in his life. From tank tops to crew cuts to t-shirts, you will have everything you want in terms of clothing, including sweaters, hoodies, and of course the mugs you want for any hot or cold beverage for this incoming winter. All this will be released on time, and once it is released, you will have just a few days to get yours. And also, I promise you this self-insert of the Royal Rogue in notebooks with Highlander costume, with a kilt, a sword, and everything that an actual royal commentator worth his salt would wear in the Highlands. If I was actually in the Highlands, of course. That image does not exist, but don't you care much about that, right? Because we are making good use of our imagination in here. And you will also have posters to decorate your walls with your favorite YouTuber. I'll let you know as soon as they are ready. But you must be grateful that I am not taking a page from the Harkle's merch tactics, which can be a bit, let's say, outrageous at times. So no, there will be no bathing suit with the Royal Rogue's face. And speaking of faces, you know that this picture caught my attention precisely because of Meghan is forcing her face to display the greatest amount of joy possible. I mean, this is like she has been practicing on the mirror of any of her 16 bathrooms to make that face whenever she wishes to, especially when she doesn't want to, which is indeed whenever she is not with a billionaire or a multimillionaire. But it so happens that there are pictures from this event that I really don't want to show because I don't think they are editorial ready in many ways. Like, for the first time, I'm actually worried about Meghan's well-being. And no, seriously. But instead, I want to ask, what happened to early 2010s Meghan's or mid-2010s Meghan's? Because it's like she was a completely different person. And so many of you have said that, well, she is just the same. And I disagree, because she seemed at least friendly, right? Like, she could be approachable and not a grifter in disguise. I would say that she looked nice, but J. May might have an explanation for this. There I say, her life had a certain balance at that point in 2015. She had a measure of fame and a comfortable life sprinkled with luxuries, but she was not in every headline and on every tongue. The balance seems to have been just right around that era of her life. The grasping, greedy megastar wannabe we see today is showing turmoil on her face from her constant struggle for world domination. But we also have this picture from Harry that, in fact, I can actually show you thanks to resting doll face. Harry did give a speech. No filter here too. Question: does Ozempic cause hair loss? Asking for a friend of his. That's a bit rude. But let's be clear here. Regardless that it's just a snapshot in time, it's not hard to have this feeling that Harry just doesn't want to be there. That all the lights and cameras actually bother him, upset him to to the point that he doesn't know how to tell Meghan that he doesn't want this glamorous life anymore, that he's had enough of that for the past 3 years or so. It doesn't look like this so called freedom their Shield wrote in that impossible to read book, Finding Freedom, was. That he would be happier at home with his children and the nannies, of course, because they have to take care of the children as he plays with his PlayStation or ride his bicycle or whatever he does at Montecito while he's there. But as the Queen's son says, he's just a shadow of the man he used to be. Even so, it's incredible that we got headlines like this. From the blast, royal fans call Meghan Markle heart attack gorgeous for her look for Navy SEALs event. Well, for one, I agree with this headline because I can bet anything you want that if you saw Meghan approaching you with arms wide open and this face and possibly screaming some kind of excited expletive, the odds of you suffering a heart attack would increase significantly. So let's just be grateful that Meghan doesn't frequent the places that us peasants are used to dwell on, because that will be a health hazard in itself. And I do care about the well-being of my royal rogues. Well, we should keep our defenses up because you never know where and when they are going to appear out of the blue. And the ominous confirmation is another headline that says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are ready to get back out there again. Well, I am not surprised in the least that they are ready to get out there, especially when they have the means to go anywhere they want in perhaps the most fashionable way. Or maybe we misunderstood that South Park skit. Maybe what they truly wanted to say with those signs was not, we want privacy, but we want private jets. And when you think about it, it just fits. I don't know how I couldn't think of this earlier, because it's something that just makes sense in regards to the dastardly duo. But no, I don't want to scare you, but the headlines get worse. Expert says Meghan Markle will be a loving and supportive partner to Prince Harry this week as the final season of The Crown premieres. Oh my God, part 1 of the 6th season will cover Princess Diana's untimely death in 1997. Yeah, this has more to do. I don't know how to bring this up, but this has more to do with the fact that since Netflix is going to premiere the 6th season of The Crown, then poor old Harry is going to be triggered again by the memory of his mother, especially because she is going to appear as some kind of a ghost haunting the royal family after she passed away. So regardless of this injection of the paranormal into what has been already filled with fiction, it's a good thing that the wife is going to be by his side to comfort him, especially not because she has been cosplaying Diana even before they married, but because she has to make sure that they stay on track with what's left of the last contract they have in the mainstream media, namely Netflix, since they cannot afford another loss or another, drop or another impasse or even more ridicule than what they have already experienced so far. And it's not like I care about them going through all that because let's be clear, those setbacks in the Monte Shit Show life are the heart and soul of so many memes that I cannot count.